Good evening. I hope everyone that celebrated Thanksgiving had a wonderful day. We did. We laughed a lot and ate food and played dominoes. And so we had a good day. Now I am going to work on a Christmas gift that is a set of coasters, but when you put them together they make a sunflower. So I put that picture up at the top. It is a free pattern on Storyteller Wool's website, and I have her link in the description. So if you're interested in trying it, feel free. And we are gonna get started. I'm gonna use my smaller hook, or my smaller punch. And I think what I'm gonna do first is with this black, I'm gonna put in a few of the seeds, if you can see those right there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and outline this section, because when I do the brown it will be really dark and it will run all together. So that is where I'm gonna start. And I need to do one more thing. And that is all I needed to do, so I'm good. But this got all tangled, so let me get this untangled. I thought I would jump on. I've done 2 loads of dishes and packed food away and cleaned up the kitchen. So now I thought I would spend time with y'all. I haven't gotten to do that today, so. Alright, and when you have a struggle like this, getting. Well, hello. How are you? What can I do for you there, bud? Huh? What can I do for you? You're knocking everything over. You're knocking everything over. Hi. How are you? Uh, hello? Hi. How are you? Do you want me to move this so you can sit down? Do you want your blankie up here? I can put your blankie up here. Oh, let's get your blankie. There we go. Here's your blankie. Want your blankie? Hi. How are you? You want to lay right there? You're such a good boy. You're such a good boy. Yes, you are. Hey, Lady Cricket Bug. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hi. Can you say thank you? Say thank you, Lady Cricket Bug. Well, I know you're purring. You're purring so big. You're purring so big. Okay. Oh, that is such a sweet boy. That is such a sweet boy. Yes. Put your tail over here. All right. So like I said, I'm going to go in, put a few little, what would look like seeds, right? Some extra little seeds. And then I am going to come in right here and just do the outline, because I'm using this really cool kind of purpley brown, and see all those different colors in there? Isn't that pretty? That's what I'm going to use for the brown spots. Where are you going, baby? Do you need treats? Okay. I will get you some. What do you eat? Have some treats. Here. There you go. There you go. Oh, I almost fell out my chair. Okay. All right. Oops. Hold on. Okay. So then I'm just going to go into this one here. Do the same thing. Now, this doesn't fit perfectly on my frame, so as you can tell, it's starting to get a little saggy, so I just keep trying to pull it back. And if I have to hold it at some point, I will. Alright, so since I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and move over and try to do these other three. And hopefully was that good? Huh? You gonna come lay back down? Nope, we're out of here. We are out of here. Now, if I really wanted this line to show up prominently, I would go around twice, but I don't. I just want it to give the illusion of layers or circles. 8 of these little squares to do, which means 2 full sets of 4. So I already have them all drawn out. Oh, he got up on his little blankie in his chair. All right, so we did that outlining. I'm actually going to take this back out because I don't like it. Get rid of that. I didn't do it on the rest of them. Y'all, I'm supposed to get my new chair tomorrow, and I will be so happy because this chair, I fight constantly. I fall out of it. I sink. It is just a whole thing. Okay. So, now I'm going to do this color, which I think is really pretty. I'm hoping it'll turn out the way I think it will. And then I think there's a little bit of gold in there that we can pick up that will pull into the actual flower. Now, because I'm using those here, I am going to go ahead and do my edge for this color first, because that's always the most important thing, is making sure your edge is straight. So, and that you have to do very slowly because you're looking for those little squares in that same row. I'm going to move that off there. And then once you have your straight row, then you're good to fill in. And you know that your coaster will be straight. I was going to give us one more evening without the holiday music, but I can turn the holiday music on if y'all want me to. Just let me know. All right, so I have squared that right there in that corner. And so now we're just going to punch in here, but because I do kind of want that circle-y effect right here, I'm not going to higgly-piggly it. I'm actually going to follow these lines all the way. So I'm just going to turn and go back the same way I just came. And I'm just going to keep working that direction. And then I will turn and go back the other way. And remember, this is the back, not the front. Always working from the back when you punch. I'm just moving that off to the side. Actually, I can move that one until I'm ready to do the next four. Okay, so now we're moving to that second section. We have ad break starting waiting for the ads to be done. All right, so I think the ads are over. I just want to say thanks for always lurking. This way you won't have to watch ads for a month. I appreciate you. Well, I have always noticed that you were there, and I really do appreciate the lurking because it really did help me out. So, enjoy on me. I love it. I'm happy for it. All right, so let me make sure nobody that I'm giving these to is in the chat, and they are not. So I have a knitting group that I used to host at my house every other week, and I've quit doing that, so now it's kind of moving around between. And so we have a get together in December, and what I thought I would do is how these coasters, go together and make a full sunflower. I thought I would gift each one of them a coaster, and then when they look at it or use it, then they know that they're not alone, that these coasters are at other people's houses that care about them and appreciate them. And so that's what I'm going to do with them. So they will go to 8 different people, and they will all know they're still a part, that everybody has a part of their flower at their house. So that's my plan for it, along with my white chocolate popcorn, because they want my white chocolate popcorn. But that's the plan with these. So I thought I'd work on them tonight because they're probably all busy with family and won't know. And I have to have them done before December 10th. So that is what I'm going to do with these. Hey.
What?
Thanks, Anna, for the lurk. I appreciate it, and the check-in. So I'm probably the only strange one at Thanksgiving. I don't like any of the food. I'm not a turkey person. I'm not a ham person. I don't like any of the traditionals. I don't like yams. I don't like dressing. I don't like cranberry sauce. I don't like green bean casserole. I don't like, I'm trying to think what else people fix that I don't like. So I'm the only one that starves and loses weight at Thanksgiving. So I was just telling my husband as he walked by with a handful of leftovers or food or whatever he was eating at the moment that I'm starving. So at some point I'm gonna have to fix me something. I do fix all of it though. I fixed all of it, and my daughter and son-in-law loved it and ate plenty, and then they got to take home leftovers, and my husband can eat on ham and turkey for a couple days, and he loves eating the leftovers, so I won't have to cook at least. But food is not my favorite. Even the desserts. I'm not a huge, well, I don't necessarily like apple pie. Now I might eat an apple fried pie, but I don't really like apple pie. So we had apple pie, pumpkin, and pecan. I'm not a huge pumpkin pie person, so I don't even have the sugar overload that they all have. But I do cook it all. And then we played dominoes, and we're laughing to the point I could not catch my breath. It hurt. It was so funny. And our family might be a tad bit competitive. So it gets loud and it gets funny, and we had a good time. we had a cold front come in, so it is nice and chilly for Thanksgiving, which is fun and different. And I think that'll be just enough black to kind of show there's a little bit of definition. So I think that's going to work out. So now we'll go down. Oh, I've got one more section. I thought I was done with this one. I may be in starvation mode. You know what, Abby, just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Before the day's over. Okay, I have got to stop turning my chair that direction when I want to get up. I have hit my knee, I don't know how many times in the last 2 days. What in the world? Okay, now we're going to be done with this one. Now we'll be done. Moving on to the next one. So now we're going to outline again. And then once we have all these punched, we'll cut them. Base to the edges back, and then put cork on the back of them. Well, we'll probably steam them first and then do all that. Make sure I go one more punch past that. And then come back this way. Alright, we've got ads coming in a few. And just so y'all know, this timer is way up because it'll say 5 minutes and it'll tell me it still has a minute and something before the ads, and ads are already almost done running. So I don't know when, but there will be ads. All right. So now we're back to. And the sunflowers I would see that actually grew the seeds, they were very dark in their center, so that's what I'm going to go with. Plus this has several colors in it. It's really pretty. Alright. Okay. Can't see to cut the thing. Alrighty. husband is watching, but he is laughing loud. Alright, we're about to get to move on to the fourth one. I will finish this one while the ad break happens. Ouch. Alright, let me grab a drink. Where's my drink? Over here. Whew. Alrighty. Okay, so now we're going to go back down this edge again. Tomorrow's Friday, so I will be diamond painting tomorrow. So I'd love to get at least 4 of these completely done tonight. When I pull my yarn, I'm trying to pull way back above my head so that I'm not hitting the camera every time because I tend to whop it. Yes, we got the inside of the sunflower done. So I'm going to move that off to the side. And what I want to use now is this dark gold right at the base and to outline the petals. And then, or at least maybe not up at the tops, but down here where they're going to be up against each other. Hold on. We got all tangled. There we go. And then this goes this way. Maybe. Alright, so what did I do with my own? Because when the cat gets up here, then I lose all my stuff. But I moved it over there. He's had a busy day too. He's had to protect the house with people in it, and the birds were out there tormenting him. And okay, I'm trying to think how I want to work this edge. And I think I want to work the edge with the lighter yellow. So I'm going to try to bring this up just a smidgen more. Alright, so I think I'm going to leave my outside edge. I think I'm going to come in right here like I did kind of the black where I did not go all the way to the edge. And we're going to play with this and see what we think. We may tear it all out, who knows. But we're going to see. So I want to put this darker right here. And up this side. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop right where they split, because the sky will be right there, so you don't need to know that there's definition between those two petals. So I'm going to come back down because I want this to be a little thicker. And it's actually going to work out in our favor because I'm going to go all the way around this edge. And the same thing here. I'm going to go up this petal, stop where the petals split, and come back down on this side. And then I'm going really slow right here because can you hear? I'm hitting the underneath arm, well, the piece that tightens and untightens this whole thing right here, and I'm hitting that, so I don't want to hit it too hard or I'm going to chip my needle. And I just happen to be right there on it. So I'm trying to be can you hear that? I'm trying to tilt my needle a little bit. And then I am thinking I'm missing a line right here. I'm thinking there should be a line probably right here that goes off to the edge. I must miss the line. But see, you can just draw it on however you want. And then I'm going to come back down and stop right there. And then I'm going to just kind of fill in right here. And maybe just do one more row this way with this darker. And then we'll go lighter for the rest of it. And come back around and stop right there. All right. I think that will work. Alright. And alright. I'm just trying to see what I think. You know what? Let's just go ahead before we do any more and work on this one. And I am going to actually take my lightest color and I am going to come I am going to go ahead and do my lines. So like this edge. Now I could do these sunflowers all in one color, but that would be boring. Now if it was more of a variegated like that was, then I might not mind doing it in one color. But I'm going to turn them and take one stab right there. And then I am going to go ahead and come around like this. Come right back out here. And we're going to go this way. And you can hear I'm right back over that spot again. And then we're going to go this way. And we're going to go this way. And then let's go this way. We have ads starting in just a minute or so. Alright. Now is that where it's supposed to be? I think so. let's pull these out because I will be able to tell. So right here, I was going along fine, and then somehow I got on the other side of that weave, of that thread. So sometimes you have to pull it back out to see where it's split, and then you'll know. And so now I can see it straight. But anytime you're not quite sure, just pull it out and you'll be able to see which side of one of those threads you're on if it looks just a smidgen off. And you can always, with your finger, just go over it and it closes back up. And that came down perfect. So I'm going to use that. Let me bring it down a little bit more so you can kind of see just that one. And then you can definitely tell the color change. What I'm going to do is come in with this color. Get my edge right here, or my end. And see if I can blend these two colors together a little bit. So I'm going to kind of just go. Okay, why does that one always end? I need to take that out because it ends so abruptly. All right, so I'm going to take this one out. So you can buy them like that. This one I drew directly onto the canvas myself. You can buy digital patterns and just download them and trace them yourself. You can buy them already on the canvas and have them sent to you that way. If it's one that is if it has a lot of detail, then I usually will purchase it already on the canvas. But a lot of them I designed myself. This one I did not, but the tree that I did, I designed that one myself. So Ribbon Candy Hooking, who a lot of my patterns are in her book or books. So like this one, here is the pattern to it. Yeah, well, so like this one, what I did. So what she does is she sends it to me on this tape. Yeah, something easy. So this one has very, just big lines. So she sends it to me on this fiber tape that I can then peel up and stick on my linen myself and just trace it, which is a lot less expensive. This one, so I love this one. This will be one I do at Easter. But so this is from Wackadoo Yarns. Beautiful bunny and the eggs and all of that. But that one I went ahead and purchased, so you get it like this on, already drawn out on the rug warp, or like ribbon candy hooking. You can pick if you want it on rug warp, or if you want it on monk's cloth, or if you want it on linen. Linen is usually to hook. Monk's cloth and rug warp are usually to punch, although you can hook on rug warp. Burlap, if you're in one of those purist those purist people, and they'll tell you not to use burlap. Burlap's what they used for years and years and years, and it started on flour sacks. So the burlap is okay if you're just not going to get it wet. Yeah, I've never been a purist. I think you can use anything, which is why my mermaid tail has iridescent fabric in it. But that is going to be in a book. I did hear from the author this week, and so she does want that one in a book. Oh my gosh, honey, you want to talk true crime? I can talk true crime. I love true crime. My husband's always like, why do you listen to all that? And I'm like, okay, I can tell you how to clean up blood, so it's never, I have got all the deets. In fact, we were talking Young Thug and P. Diddy at dinner. So I can talk all about it. Oh, you started with true crime and then went to court every. Oh. So, do you watch a bunch on YouTube? Because Pretty Lies and Alibis is one of my favorites to get my fast catch-ups. I watched The Lawyer You Know, Melanie Little, That Surprise Witness, BJ Investigates. Those are usually my top ones right now. Like the Delphi, oh my gosh, I was so livid during that one. And then the Sarah Boone, I just called her crazy. My husband and I would say, crazy's doing this today, or crazy's doing that, and he would know exactly who I was talking about. I'm looking at that on my screen, which gives me a separate or a different view, and I'm not sure I'm liking it at all. Oh my gosh, she thought she was so much smarter than everybody else. Oh my word, just amazed me. But the end of that trial just broke my heart. She was so much the abuser. Okay, I don't like this color at all in the center here. I know, December. I am so excited. And then the one that happened in Pikes County, Ohio, that some of their sentencing is just now coming up, and it was like a million years ago. And then they're one of them is still hasn't been to trial yet. I lived in Ohio when that was going on. Yeah, the the problem for me with the well, okay, so when I started watching trials, my this will tell you how old I am. I, OJ was my first one, and then I read every book written, which I was like, oh my word. And so that is what got me into trials. And then Jodi Arias, that one, oh, I watched all of that trial. And then, but now, yeah, now see, my brother should have been an attorney. He would have been an excellent attorney. But my yeah, I don't want to go to all that schooling. Although I would probably do better now than I would have when I was younger. I'm probably a little more mature and more concerned about applying myself. But the um the thing now is because there's so many on TV, right? There's so much going on, like the oh, so I don't know where you live, but um the Karen Reed trial, that one just flabbergasted me. And then they just did the kid that shot the intruder. Yeah, the loans to go with it. Yeah, that is a lot of schooling. And then, but now that so many allow cameras in, how do you choose which one you want to watch? I did watch Rust when Alec Baldwin was in that one. Um, that was a disaster. And then, so I think I jump around more now listening to the recaps. Yeah, and oh, I did watch the the um what was it? Robert Tellis, the one in um Las Vegas where he was going to represent himself, and we had just gotten back from Las Vegas when all that happened, when he was going through his stuff. So that one caught my attention. Of course, everything that's happening in Massachusetts with the um, corrupt law and the corrupt state police. That's just so. Yes, it just there's just so much to talk about. In fact, there's a mosaic crochet blanket pattern that somebody did about true that don't bother me. I'm watching true crime or something like that. Have you seen that? Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I'm gonna have to do that next when I get these two done for other people. I said I am doing that one for me. It is so cute. And then my husband will go, "Why do you watch all this?" I'm like, I, I, I don't understand. I just don't understand what makes them think they can get away with it. There you go. That is double doing. Yeah, that's what. Once I started streaming, I was like, I told my husband, I said, I have to catch up on my YouTube and on my. So I've been hitting the um, fast forward and the 2 times speed, and oh my word, was she not? Oh my word, she was so. And my, of course, people may say I have a conspiracy theory, but did you notice that the calling cops on him all the time did not start until like July of 2019. I'm telling you, she was setting it up. She she had it planned. She started reporting him, getting him arrested. None of that. They had been living together for a while, and none of that started until right before she did him in. And I'm telling you, she thought she was smart enough to start setting it up, and that she would never ever be tried because there were so many arrests. I mean, she's one that, yeah, what in the world was she thinking? She could have been out. But now, I hope, I hope the judge takes into effect. Oh, it was so sad. I hope I hope the judge will take in to count. I know he can't, but how many times he's had to deal with her and all her little letters, and add that to her sentence. I think he should add that to her. An extra year for every one of those letters she whined about that she wrote him. I'm seriously. And I am I was rolling when I saw the one where she said, "Please post this wanted sign in your break room." I was like, "Oh my gosh, who do you think you are?" And now I'm ready for the Adelson trial, the newest one, his mother. Because I mean, again, seriously, I mean, let's think about this. You want control of your grandchildren so badly that you now have taken their father away. Your grandchildren are not going to speak to you anymore, regardless. The the daughter is completely gone away from you. Your other son has not talked to you in years. You get one son convicted for life in prison, and now you're about to go to prison. Was that really worth it? I mean, you have ruined your entire family's life because you could not stand it and you were not in control. Oh, really? Yeah, oh, that was horrible. Hit her right after. She didn't even make it to the reception. And then, what is it, Corey? Yeah, and then what is it, Corey Richens, or the one in Utah that um poisoned her husband, or drugged him, and all because he said no, she couldn't have that, she couldn't buy that big house. I mean, seriously. Yeah. And then there's the Stampin' Up girl that the heiress to the Stampin' Up fortune, that she and her new husband killed. Yeah, yeah, I think she was, but seriously, just leave them. Divorce them. What the heck? And then, have you heard about the newest one in was it Utah also? That, yes, the girl that her brother shot her estranged husband, when he came through the door, he drove from California up to wherever they were. Um, I think it's Utah, but it could have been Iowa. I'm not sure. And they killed him as soon as he came in the door. And she was upstairs with her kids, and they had set it all up, her and the mom, and they were Googling Adelsons to see how to do all this stuff. I'm like, oh my, oh, unbelievable. And now the mom, the daughter, the brother, they're all arrested. And they were actually Googling Adelsons. Like, that worked out well for them. Although I think Wendy will get off. I don't think they'll ever have enough to try her. I think that's what intrigues me so much. I mean, it's all so sad, and lives and kids' lives are ruined, and all because their parents, like the one that in San Antonio, that she's still missing and nobody knows where she is. And her, she disappeared one night. Her husband, they were seen fighting, and he's now in jail on I don't know how many $1 million bond, and they still haven't found her body. And anyway, what goes through these people's heads, and the fact that it ruins so many lives. It is not just yours. Oh, seriously. I mean, there's just. I mean, Wendy Adelson may get away with it just because she was smart enough, but I don't know. It's sad. Um, there's just, why in the world would those be the choices you make? I mean, do they all think they're smarter than the last one that tried it? I don't get it. Especially Googling the Adelsons. I mean, did they sit there and go, oh, well, they did this wrong? Yes! True Lies and Alibis, my daughter bought me for Mother's Day, or Pretty Lies and Alibis. She bought me um, a cup from her for, I think it was Mother's Day. I was like, I want her cup. And I love how she recaps. But those calls, although I'd really like to hear Donna's calls. And the fact that um she that Charlie threw her under the bus fast amazes me. I think he finally realized, oh, I was just Mama's puppet. And he turned on her. Yeah, Pretty Lies and Alibis is the one that did the recap on this one in Utah or wherever that I was talking about that was researching Adelsons. So I hadn't heard of it until she said it the other day. She did a video on it. Alright, I think I like this better with just a little bit of that darker and then all one color. It's a little bland, and we'll have to see what we do with the sky. Oh, I'm sorry you have fibromyalgia, but yeah, sometimes that brain-finger connection can... We tease my husband because he can only type with 2 fingers. So we're always like, your brain's working way faster than your fingers can keep up. Alright, so let's figure out a blue. I think I was going to do... I've lost my blue. Hold on. Oh, I'm sure that's extremely frustrating. I'm sorry for you. I think I want to do this blue to bring that bright down a little bit. Right there. Yeah, I think this will work well. Uh-oh. You do not need in that sack, bud. The cat said, "Ooh, something moved. Something moved. I've got to find out what sack that is. I don't know that I've smelled it." I think this will look pretty against the yellow right there. So I don't have to put a backing on it, but because this one is going to be a coaster, I actually will cut it out about at least 1/4 of an inch around, fold that over when I steam it, and then I'll whip that down just a little bit, and then somewhere in here I have coasters. Cork. Alright, where did it go? Oh, there they are. I was gonna say, once I tack that down, then somewhere in here I have coaster cork that will be perfect on the back after I cut it, whip it just a little bit, and then we'll be able to put the cork backing on it so that these can actually be used as coasters. And since it's yarn, it will absorb any liquid. they did fit perfect. I was very excited. I happen to already have the coaster backings, so that will work well, and that's how we'll finish these out. Now, of course, all my tails are in the front. You know, I pull through and leave all my tails in the front, so when you're done punching, you still have a lot of work to do on the other side. Let me show you on my. So I scrapbooked for years, and I did. I even tried creative, or I sold Creative Memories for years and years, and I loved scrapbooking. But then it just got to where it was just the same old, same old. The other day, though, yesterday I made a I started trying these little albums, you know, that you make yourself out of cardstock. And I started looking at scrapbooking tools, and I was like, oh, where'd that come from? I never knew they did that. So now I'm having fun with these little books and these little journals. I like to stay organized, so one of the things that I was thinking I should do with some of those little albums is because I post to Facebook. I have a Facebook page and an Instagram, and I have a TikTok, and then this, and I'm trying to stay posted on everything, and and then this also is recording to YouTube at the same time. So I thought, well, I'll start, and I've already got things I'm going to work on next fall that I never got to this fall, so I have a list. So I'm thinking I should make some of those little books, and that would help me keep up like monthly with all my stuff. But so remember, we're working on the back side of this right now. So when you turn it over, then you end up with all this kind of, stuff that you have to clean up and cut, and because all my tails are on the front. And if a loop gets snagged or something is funky, then that's the point of these flat scissors, is I'll just go across here and trim up the high places that didn't get cut off originally. See, like right there's a one that I didn't see. So this will get everything smooth and flat so that then you can actually see the picture. So you end up with a lot of this. So the punching part is fun. And if you don't want to work with big yarn, then you can always do what's called ultra punch or Russian punch, if you want to look that up. But instead of using yarn, it's using cross stitch thread. And I'll show you a couple of things. So it's the same premise. You still work from the back, but you work with DMC floss or Baldani or whatever floss you want to use. And it's the same thing. You would have it on this thin cross stitch fabric. Draw your picture, and then you punch it from the back, just like this is. And then that's what it looks like from the front. And these are extremely teeny tiny itty bitty loops. And on an ultra punch needle, if you don't like it this short, if you want it more of a fuzzy look to it, or more of a watercolor look, then you would change your needle depth to a longer depth. And when you punch with the longer in the threads, it kind of makes this more of a watercolory look, because it's much more flowy and not quite so stiff. So if you want to go down a rabbit hole, Michelle Palmer, I believe, drew this pattern. I traced it. I just ordered the digital from her. But on Etsy, Michelle Palmer does beautiful things, and she actually does them for small, and then she does large stuff where you can do it as rugs. So this one, um, I would just use as a wall piece, put in a frame, or uh, wrap around a piece of canvas. So like I'll buy canvas in bulk, and then I will staple gun it, around, or glue it or whatever. If I don't want to put it in an actual frame, but I want it for the wall. Um, like these will be the coasters, so they'll go on the table. I do. So I think I have one of my big rugs over here. So the thing is, if you're going to, if you want it on the floor, then you need to make sure you're using wool. I use a lot of stuff, like if you've seen my mermaid tail, it would never go on the floor because it's got um, a iridescent layover on the wool, and so that would not hold up on the rug. Now this one is not punched. This one is actually hooked. And so you so this is quite a large rug. Let me, thank you. So this is one of my big rugs. And so let me see, if I lift this up, you can see that these are wool loops. So this is worked from the front with this hook, and you go in underneath. So I would go in through here and have my other hand underneath, and I'm using wool strips, and I'm pulling those up to make a loop, and then I go into the next one and pull it up. So you've got a strip that you're weaving into this little space like this. So this one can absolutely be used on the floor. You don't have to put anything on the back. Here's the back of mine. And you want some space where it has some breathing room. So this looks really bad, but the front's beautiful. So, and it can go on the floor just like this. And because you're pulling the, so like when you see me reach underneath and pull my things where they're, laying like this on the front side, that's so that they don't work their way undone on the back side. So you don't have to have backing on it. What you want to do though, if you're using it on the floor, if you think about, if you have an area rug that you've walked across a lot, they'll wear in spots. Like I have one in my kitchen that everybody cuts across, and it's gotten threadbare right on the edges. So with these, what I do is there's actually cord in here, or you can take, so if, let's say I was making this a rug to walk on, I would cut it out here and leave quite an edge, and then I would roll that to right here, so it has a roll, and then I whip stitch it with yarn. So by doing this cording here on the edge, you can see that, and you put it on your floor, then as people hit it on that edge, they're not, I've got hair everywhere, they're not running the actual rug, they're hitting this edge that is just yarn, and that can all be re-whipped, and it's never putting any wear on that. So they're extremely hardy, and as long as you're using wool, they can go on the floor with no problem. Extremely, extremely tough. But the ones like I did the blue pumpkin and the falling leaves. So the blue pumpkin that I did and the falling leaves, they were velvet, so I wouldn't ever put them on the floor. They were for, they were always for the wall. So I knit and I crochet. Well, so I knit. I used to knit an absolute ton, and I was never without my knitting needles in my hand. And you know, you're doing a pattern or whatever, and you end up with like a little section of a skein, right? Well, I just kept throwing those in a basket, and I ended up with all this extra yarn. And I'm like, what do you do with this extra yarn? And I'm, you know, I spent money on my yarn. I mean, you know, like I used hand painted yarns, and um, it wasn't cheap, so I didn't want to just chunk them. And what can you do with little sections of it? So I was like, I need to do something with this stuff. I don't know what to do with it. And I went to a um, sheep and wool festival in Kentucky. And as we were walking around, I saw somebody doing this with this needle, with yarn, threading through. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? So I sat there and she let me play. And I was like, this is a perfect way to use up all of my extra yarn that I had just sitting around that, you know, I didn't need for a garment or a, you know, a shawl or whatever I was working on. So I was like, okay, that is amazing, and I'm going to try it. Well, nobody that I knew was doing it, so I had to get on YouTube and figure it out and all of that. And then and then somehow that led me down the rabbit hole of hooking, rug hooking, which is done with the hook. Yeah, well, and it's that scrapbook mentality, right? Everything is, you use everything, every little piece of paper, everything. My husband laughs at me because he can quilt and I could not quilt. And now I can English paper piece, but I still can't sew to save my life. But he would laugh at me because he's like, quilting has waist. I'm like, no, I'm sure I can fit. And he's like, quilting has waist. You just have got to break yourself of the habit that you're not going to have any waste. I'm like, no, I scrapbook and you can use every little piece. He's like, it's not going to happen here. I'm like, okay, I just can't do it then. So that was that. So um but yeah, so you know, you use everything. So that was how I started. Then I went down the rabbit hole of rug hooking, which I had to teach myself too, because in the East, a lot of people rug hook and a lot of people know what it is. In Texas, there are not many, and they are few and far between. And even to find a rug hooking store that sells wool, like actually fabric wool that is felted and you use in your rugs, I have to drive an hour and a half one way to go to a store that even sells that kind of stuff. So um, what I have found though, I like rug hooking. I like knowing how to do a rug that way. I love the fact that there, you know, is a tradition to it and the stories behind it and all of that. But I have way too many crafts, and rug hooking slows me down and punching does not. So I get a lot more done with punching than I do with rug hooking. So I have determined really this is the style I like a little better. I get more things done. I have a little more control. Yarn is less expensive. And like if I'm using it on the, if I'm not putting it on the floor, then I can even use acrylic or, you know, that kind of thing if it's something that's yeah, it's funny. I really thought that that would be something that caught people's attention um, on here, but I think it, I think so many people don't know what it is that it really doesn't. It's not something that keeps people's attention, but I enjoy it, and I have 1,000 projects to do, and I think that is cute. Oh, good. I'm glad it did, and I think that turns out adorable. I'm good with that. I like the little bit of the darker um, gold just to give it a little definition. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. So I am going to move this camera just a smidgen so you can see the other ones. And I'm okay with that color planning, so we will go forward with the next one. You know, and I always have a hobby going. I don't sit still very well without something in my hands. So um, I do enjoy it, and I'm getting to where yeah, and if you know want to start something like this, the inexpensive way to do it is just with a hoop. Um, if your fabric doesn't stay tight enough when you're punching, I use that. Do I have some here? You know, the kind of stretchy. I'm trying to think what it is. It's not really a gauze, but let's say you had to keep two fingers together, and it's kind of that stretchy, sticky stuff. I put that around my either around the bottom part of my hoop, and then pull my fabric over it, and then put the top part of the hoop on, and that seems to keep it from sliding real easy. So there's lots of inexpensive ways to start, because you can even use a regular the only thing I would say that you want to get is you definitely want a good punch, and this is an Oxford punch, and they have a couple of sizes. So if you can see, the nose on this one is much taller, and the eye of it is larger. So this will do all the way up to bulky yarn. What is not, and this is what I used for my velvet because I couldn't get my velvet through this one easily. The difference for me, the reason I very rarely use this one unless I just have a yarn that is causing me issues, is I like the lower pile, and you can see this needle is much shorter than this one. So when you're going in, because you go in all the way, you're not going to go in as far. This one goes way down. So that's the only thing. But if you ever want to do it and you're on YouTube, go to Ribbon Candy Hooking. She has some of the best beginner um, videos, and a lot of ways to do it for inexpensive, or to start out until you decide if you like it. But I enjoy it. I think it's fun, and I have 100 things that I want to do. You're welcome. And like I said, if you want to try the ultra punch, like, because cross stitching, my eyes just don't work for cross stitching anymore because I've always done counted, and this will give you, this ultra punch gives you the same look of cross stitch um, without you, but you're still doing this, and you just punch it instead of going with a bunch of X's. So Michelle Palmer is one of my favorite designers for that. But it will be a rabbit hole. You will fall down the rabbit hole. But it is so much fun. That's what my husband today at lunch said to the kids. He was like, I heard her last night say, oh, maybe I need another hobby. But it was something I hadn't done before. So, I think I need to try it, I'm sure. He's like, she does not need another hobby. But that's all right. That's what I've told him. I keep telling him he's not, real far from retirement, a few years maybe. But I'm like, I do not have time to entertain you when you retire. I have all my hobbies and all my stuff, so you're going to have to find something to do that will entertain you because I'm good all day. So, well, I will tell you, my husband has come in and said, why have I found one of these diamonds in my underwear? Or he'll say, why is there a diamond in the bed? I'm like, I don't know. How did it get there? That was you. It wasn't me. But yeah, he has the same issue. I'm like, don't walk in here when I need to vacuum. But I get it. It cracks me up every time. Yep. Okay, so who are the trials that you're getting ready or that you're following right now? I need to go back and look when Sarah Boone's hearing is, but I think it's like the second week of December. All right, now that I know what color I'm doing that, I'm gonna the bride one. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, really, how much can she deny? I mean, is she denying it or is she just? I mean, she couldn't have pled not guilty? Really? Is she saying stupid stuff? The things they say on those jail calls, like the kid that did the school shooting and his dad, was arrested, and um, not the second one, but the one that both his parents have already had their um, trials, and he was saying stuff to his sister, like threatening the prosecution. And I'm like, seriously, what in the world are y'all thinking? And it's those ones that think they are so smart, like Diddy, where he's borrowing everybody else's calling cards. Like, what? They're not going to know that's him, and they're still not going to record? They're recording everybody's calls. Now, Donna Adelson, I can see where she forgot to hang up and had an open mic. That might happen. But these other ones that absolutely know that that is what is being said and being recorded amazes me. Yeah, what do you people having iPads in their cells? I mean, seriously, we're paying for that. But, technology is technology. I will have to go check those out because I have not seen them. So if you watch Pretty Lies and Alibis, I guess you've seen the coverage on the Micah Miller, the South Carolina. He can't keep his mouth shut, and he's not even in jail. Oh, I don't know. Well, and that's like the ballerina one, and oh, you will have to go. That one, I am all in. In fact, um, I've pretty much watched everything on that case, and um, that's when I started listening to this guy, and I was, this will date me too, but I was listening, and I wasn't looking up, right? I was working on something, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he sounds like Paul Harvey. And I looked up, and sure enough, it was his son, Robbie Harvey. And I'm like, oh, but if you want to see a recap, he posted an actual recap this week. Since he wasn't going to be around for Thanksgiving week, he took some vacation time. But he did a recap and did like 3 parts and put the whole story back together. And this story is crazy. And um, supposedly she unalived herself, but everybody kept saying they didn't believe it, or her family. Um, and now they're maybe thinking that her 911 call when she went to unalive herself was AI. And that was back in, I'm trying to think what month that was. April of 2024. Everybody said it was her husband that did it. Um, and you'd have to go see why, because he just acted ridiculous from the beginning. And then the feds just raided his house 2 weeks ago, a week ago. They were separated, going through divorce. There's a whole lot to that one. A whole lot. I don't want to ruin it for you. You just, oh my golly, if you want something to watch and you're waiting for trials next week, go check out Robbie Harvey and his he calls her Micah Francis. Uh, her married name is Micah Miller. Oh my, yeah. Oh yeah. Catch up on that one and then we'll talk because I'm not going to run it for you, but oh my word, that one. Oh, that's almost like that's like OJ to me. I mean, I'm like, well, if somebody doesn't do something about this man, he's had picketers. I mean, they've been picketing it. Oh, you got, yeah. You just have to see how he acted the day after he found out she had unalived herself, supposedly. And I say supposedly very loosely. Just, and that's in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach. Yeah, and it is the feds that are um, researching it. So I don't know if they'll televise or not, but um, well, he has not been arrested for any of this yet. So that will make you even madder when you see what all has happened. I mean, this one's crazy. This one has so many plot twists and turns. It is just, I mean, you would think, okay, this cannot be real. This who wrote this story? I mean, this has got to be fiction. And it's not. More pie. Ugh. I need protein before I can have any more pie. Hey Trapper, thanks for the check-in and the lurk. I appreciate it. I watched your bird feeders most of the day. And saw the squirrels and the dog. I loved it. We've got ads ready to come in here in just a sec. So I've just hit this thing and I couldn't figure out why my yarn kept pulling out of my thing, but watch, I can't get this to go any further, and that's because there was this knot where somebody has tied the skein together in the thing. So we'll just cut that out, rethread, maybe. Where did my threader go? There it is. And now we can continue on. I could not figure out why in the world that was coming undone every time I tried. So now we should be able to move on. Thank you. Oh, excuse me. Hi, how are you? What you doing, my baby? What you doing? Hi. What can I do for you? Huh? Would you like me to move all of this? Hello, my baby. How are you? Hello. Do you want to say hi? No, not get on my stuff. Just come say hi. What you doing? What you doing? What is it, my baby? Mwah. What can I do for you? What is it? Are you hungry? Are you hungry? What is it? Yeah, you don't need that. Is that what you wanted your face rubbed? You want your face rubbed. Oh, bless you. Bless you, my baby. Okay, what? Okay. What is it? What is it? What is it? Hmm? This is going to poke you in the face. I know. What is it? What can I do for you? Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Want something to eat? All right, give me just a minute to get him fed. Come on. Are you hungry? All right, let's go. What is it, baby? What is it? Oh, you're gonna see. Sometimes your weight's a little too much, baby. Sometimes your weight's a little too much. You want to lay down right there? I can turn the fan on. You want to lay right there? I don't know where you want to go. I don't know where you want to go, baby. It's not nighttime yet. Come here. Come here. Do you want to come up here? Okay, I will be right back. Oh, what you doing, bud? What you doing? What you doing? pull my yarn out of my needle. Okay. Hi, bud. I was wondering where you were. Where did you go? Where did you go, my boy? This one always sounds like it's having problems playing. Need to take it out of my playlist too. My cat is now beating up his toy because I'm not doing whatever it is he's wanting done. Okay, this has started. Hold on. I'm going to tighten this underneath. There we go. Woo! Alright, you've got to stop. All right, one more yellow petal on this set of 4. All right. The yellow is funny on these 4. I've lost my blue. Oh, there's my blue. get this so you can see just a smidgen more. All right. I'm stretching my fingers just a little bit. Sometimes I grip that thing way too hard and I shouldn't. Get a drink. Ooh, my nose is starting to run. Look at us go. Okay, look at us. We got 4 coasters done. So what those will do is they go together to make a thing, but then when you can separate them apart. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to just leave this as is right here for tonight. And I'm scheduled for tomorrow afternoon, but I know I'm going to want to work on it in the morning. So I think I'll leave it, and I will go live in the morning and then take this off the frame. We'll need to move it so I can do the 4 that are over here on this side anyway. I'll take it off the frame, flip it over, let you see me clean it up, move it, do those 4, and then see where we are, what time it is. Because tomorrow afternoon I'm diamond painting, so, and I've already sent that notice out to social media, so I don't want to change that. And I have to change my setup to do that. So if we get all of these done in time, depending how early I get on, we may even be able to cut them and finish them up. But the cutting and finishing up I can do once I set up the other way. And so we could do that anytime this weekend, maybe Saturday morning. So I think tomorrow morning I'll come in. We'll try to get the other 4 at least punched. Tomorrow afternoon I'm diamond painting, and then Saturday morning, you know, while I'm watching College Game Day, we can maybe cut them, baste them the way we need to, and then put the backs on them if we don't get to that in the morning. And then because Saturday afternoon I have already got my social media post set up for that. So I think that's where we're at. I think this is a good place to stop. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving that's in the U.S. And I am grateful for all of you hanging out with me and lurking and chatting and all the things. And I hope to see you both, all of you, tomorrow for one of my 2 streams, unless it runs together and it's one stream. So thank you so much, and we will talk to you tomorrow.